Hi, this is Denise.
Hey, this is Maggie.
Welcome to our podcast, Candor and Courage at Work.
Denise and I have known each other for a long time, a couple of decades, HR pros, and we thought it might be helpful if we got together and shared some of the things that we've learned along the way.
That's right, Maggie. Many struggle with being candid and being courageous, and we just want to use what we've learned to help you use those traits in your daily work life.
Here's hoping that makes you more successful. And here we go.
Hey, everybody, it's Denise.
And Maggie.
We're here with our winner. Last fall, we had a call out for people that wanted to work with us on their 2026 goals. And that person, congratulations to Elena Skorupan.
Thank you, Denise. I'm delighted to be here.
Wonderful.
And Elena and I met a couple of years ago. So one of the things that was really cool when we drew her as the winner of this is that she's local and is here with us today. And so with that, just want to share with you that she is the Director of Environmental and Social Sustainability at Yates Construction. With over 26 years of experience in global operations and project management, she is passionate about advancing sustainability and future-proofing operations. Elena has been with Yates Construction for 14 years, running an international office for the first 10 years, then leveraging a deep personal commitment to sustainability and ample knowledge of the latest trends. Elena transitioned into a pivotal new role, well-positioning Yates Construction to pursue projects with new sustainability requirements, such as low-carbon materials and job site emissions tracking. That's some pretty technical stuff, Elena.
Truly is.
We're really thrilled that you entered and were selected to meet with us about your 2026 goals, and we're really excited that you're here today as our guest.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I've been a fan of the podcast since the very first episode, and I've recommended it to my friends and family around the world.
Well, we appreciate that.
We do. So when I hear environmental and social sustainability, it seems like I don't have a full understanding of what that is, and I'm sure our listeners might wonder that too. What exactly is that for you?
So to me, environmental and social sustainability, it's a more holistic approach to business operations. So it goes beyond just simple recycling or, things that we normally think about when we think about sustainability. So it is built on the triple bottom line approach, which stands for profit, planet, and people. So what we do, we go beyond the just traditional financial goals, which is profit, but we also take into consideration what is our environmental impact and how what we do impact people. And by people, I mean employees, clients, business partners, or even communities where we live and we work. So again, that allows company to be more resilient because we build a long-term strategy. And, again, it will help us to pivot and be more resilient.
So I'd imagine that a corporation, is focused on, obviously, financial success. But I recall in our introduction to each other prior to this recording today that you were sharing how you really kind of took that and moved that forward. How did you present that to your leadership about sustainability and the value to the company beyond just the expense, I guess, of being sustainable?
So really, I've always been passionate about sustainability. I used to get credentials just for fun because it just made sense and, I was really into it. And then really during the pandemic, I think we all did a lot of thinking about what gets us out of bed in the morning, what do you want to do with your life? And I just realized that I feel very deeply about sustainability, and I just saw that window of opportunity with all the latest trends coming in the market, which we were not really prepared to address, and actually presented to the management committee at the end of, I believe it was 2022. We talked about low-carbon materials, emissions, why it is important, that new marketplace, which appeared with, net zero marketplace, with big clients having their net zero commitments and translating the requirements into their supply chain, which we as a general contractor, we're supply chain. So, just presented the big picture. There was a need for this new position, which was created within the company. So I was very proud of that achievement.
I am so awestruck by you being able to take a passion and convert that into a viable and profitable part of the business, that you were able to merge the personal with the business and come up with something that really, I think, speaks to a lot of folks as employees. I want to work for a company that's not only financially solvent, but responsible for our environment. So I just think that's awesome that you were able to combine that. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. The episode back in November, we had listed out some questions that listeners could consider as they were going into 2026. And I'm just wondering which one, if of our questions, or did you come up with one of your own that you wanted to focus on in 2026 and share that with our listeners?
First of all, they were all great questions. And so I gave it some serious thought. And of course, I have to consider my personal circumstances. So to me, right now, my number one goal is to maintain the balance between that exciting new career where you really want to go ahead and, be known entity and, be great at what you do. But I also want to be present for my family because like you, Denise, I do have seniors in my household. And once you experience loss, you realize that we only have today to make our memories. So I want to achieve that healthy balance where I'm really good at what I do at work, but I'm there for my family. And I don't tap myself empty in any of this part of my life because, if I'm running on empty in my energy, I cannot be there for my family.
Yeah, that is so important. I know Maggie has reminded us that, the flight attendant says put your own mask on before putting on the one for the person sitting next to you.
It really does come down to energy management. And so you have to be really intentional about it. Do you want to talk with us about some of the things that you're doing that enable you to achieve that balance, or that you're going to be steps you are taking or will be taking as the year progresses to ensure that you're achieving that balance?
Yes. So on the professional side of my life, what I'm trying to do this year is to build deeper, meaningful relationships with my peers and people I work with within my company. So what I did at the end of last year, I just really wanted to show gratitude. I have several sustainability peers who were really helpful and instrumental in my success by, sharing their knowledge, introducing me within the network, and really welcoming me to the community. So what I did, I sent Christmas cards, and I just wanted to thank them for, being such an excellent example, because I really learned from the best in the industry, and just to say, thank you very much. And I even went a step further. And I sent a card to the CEO of the company I work for because, again, I just felt that tremendous feeling of gratitude for the opportunities I received and for his trust that he placed in me because things like compliance, they're very, very important and consequential. So my cards were very well received. I actually got feedback, which I did not expect. One of my colleagues said that he felt like he got to know me better because he saw my handwriting. Because in the modern world, sometimes we'd never see a handwriting person. Right. So it was like a personal touch. And another thing that I've done, really vocalize your admiration or give positive feedback to people you work with. I had two colleagues leave the company last year, and I went a little bit beyond just liking the LinkedIn post and say, best of luck. I sent them a message saying, you're great. I enjoyed working with you. You're very capable, and I wish you all the best. So to me, that's the feedback we need to give people to build the connection. It's a small industry. We may end up working together again.
Yeah, I will tell you that what a memorable thing you've done. Because to your point, written notes are just not the norm, and for you to do that, I am sure set for many of the folks that received your gratitude and impressed them with the time you took to write those notes and will not easily be forgotten. So the time to do that was well spent.
Agreed. Oftentimes we see that THX in an email. And maybe that's the extent of the appreciation that we receive in response to something that we've delivered or done or helped with or whatever. And so that's definitely a distinguishing action that you've taken to create those connections.
Yeah, imagine having more time to write out thanks rather than THX. I had to think for a second when you said that. I'm going, is that like the Dolby sound?
No, that's just what came to mind in listening to Elena talk about the intentionality of taking that time, energy, and effort and the reactions that she's gotten, while also acknowledging that she's working within a relatively small peer group. So the odds are better than not that your paths are going to cross again.
Sure. And the gratitude is such a healing emotion. It really fills your positivity bucket up, like your personal energy. And then think about it. The person, maybe that's the only positive feedback they received in a day, in the week, in the month. So, that makes me feel good, makes them feel good. So to me, it's the positive energy going around.
Yeah, you may have made somebody's day and had no clue. And I also like you thinking up the chain, to your CEO and recognizing, what they have done for you this year. And I love the way, you would describe that message to where they feel like it's not brown nosing or, it's done with some intention of receiving something after. It was just a mere communication of, hey, I'm grateful and thank you. So.
And you put your soul into that because, again, Maggie, you know me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. And so when you offer that authenticity, it's very well received.
Yes. Yep. Comes shining through. Wonderful. What are some other things that you have in mind for this year around deepening those relationships?
So, again, with the balance, sometimes it's difficult for me to travel, again, for some family responsibilities, but I will make a commitment to, go to several key sustainability conferences. And because meeting in person, we do virtual calls every month, but again, just spending that time in person, connecting with people, it's very important. And what I do, speaking of our virtual calls, I belong to several sustainability networks, and so we have some of them monthly meetings, some of them meetings every other month. So I make a commitment if my schedule allows. I'm there, I'm present, I'm contributing. So, then people see you, you're really part of the group, and that's how you solidify your position in your niche.
So to deepen a relationship, you might just select one person that you feel that's the person you want to focus on to deepen that relationship. And then what might you do in that instance to further your goal?
Well, just like today, again, online information. Sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing, but I always stay on top of things like, if it's somebody's birthday, I'm going to send a meaningful note to that person. And that's what I did this morning, by the way. And actually, that person sent me very good information about a professional network opportunity. So, it's kind of feeds both ways. And I think if people hear that attention, it really pays off in the long run.
Okay. So that's the professional side. So when I met Elena for the first time, she shared something on the personal side that she is reconnecting with and has, I guess, great benefits. I'm almost jealous. I want to join her maybe. I don't know if I can be a good partner. I'm usually try to take the lead. That's why I've not really done well in this. But tell us what you're doing on the personal side that you're reconnecting with.
So again, I don't believe in New Year resolutions, just like you do, but usually end of November, beginning of December, I'm thinking about plan for New Year. What do I want to do better? Where I need to self-correct? And what I realized that I was running on empty as far as my personal energy storage, positivity storage. So, you give it all at work, you give it all at home, but you do need that space for yourself. And to me, I'm a very passionate person. So if I do something with passion, it always refills my batteries. So I love dancing. I started taking ballroom dance lessons about 10 years ago, but then I had to stop several years ago and, really didn't dance. And I was thinking, what can I do for myself in 2026 to really find that space that feed my creativity? And I said, dancing. So I reached out to my old dance instructor. He was available. We started dancing again, and I can tell you I could not be happier. After our first lesson, I was driving home with a big smile on my face all the way home. And then I had a couple of really stressful days at work, but I was able to deal with stress so much better because my resilience was up, just based on that positive emotion.
That's wonderful. I think a lot of times too with, as you and I have shared about our parents and stuff, just having that energy back to be able to now go over here and deal with whatever you're dealing with is important.
Absolutely. And you need to be strong to do that. So that's one of the things I realized when I went back to dancing, how out of shape I was. Because you can be in shape visually, but totally out of shape physically. And I'm talking about things like endurance. I could barely catch my breath on my first lesson. So that's another thing I want to do for myself this year, just really put a little more fitness into my life. Because if I'm stronger and healthier, I can take care of my family so much better.
Wonderful.
Yeah, managing that energy is really where it's at. So I talk a lot with folks about refilling that energy bucket, and you've mentioned a couple of different ways that you're experiencing that, both on the professional and personal side this year, and how well that will serve you as you go through those natural stressors that come in the work and in home environments.
Well, I'm going to share what I've decided to do for 2026.
All right.
It wasn't what I thought when we had recorded that episode. So
Okay. That's all right. That's all right.
But, I shared with you guys my journey on, being more timely and, getting rid of that procrastination finally. And one of the things that I have found, and I mentioned in that episode that I found successful for me, was having an accountability partner. And so I am going to expand that relationship with that person and make sure I'm sharing more than just, my timeliness and reporting on that. There's other areas like you were sharing, Elena, about your personal life where you need those wins, those positive things that make you in a better headspace to handle stress when it comes along. So I am going to expand my accountability with my accountability partner and talk about just getting things done for me, even as something as simple as cleaning out the refrigerator.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
It's a big task.
That's a big, I love, and thanks for mentioning that specifically. I'll just drop in here. One of the things that I find that fills my energy buckets up are the things where there's a definitive before and after. Mm-hmm. And so that's a good example. I also love washing cars and windows and shining shoes, those kinds of things. But yeah.
My car needs washing. So if you want to get together, we might be able to trade. But no, I mean, and she will share things with me, from time to time about things she's doing, and it gives me a great idea of things I need to do. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is my closet. The refrigerator is a smaller unit and easier to neaten up and clean the shelves, do that deep cleaning. Right. The closet, I'm going to need some more encouragement, a plan, maybe one corner of the closet,
there you go.
But yeah, we're going to get there. It really does feel good to, see that before and after. So thank you for sharing that visualization, because that definitely is what I've experienced as of late.
Yeah, that's what gives me energy. And so I, in turn, picked the question, what will challenge you in a way that feels exciting, not just exhausting? Mm. And so I know one thing that I do that prior to the pandemic, I always found invigorating. And I'm a little reluctant to put it in the exciting category because exciting is fleeting. So I am reframing that one thing into being something that is invigorating, which gives me energy that is sustainable, energy rather than that fleeting, exciting sensation. And so I am looking for more opportunities to engage in that, and as I do, intentionally portraying it as this is a really cool opportunity to have the kind of impact that I want to have, share the messaging that I want to share, and not be drained by it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's sometimes draining is energizing, when you've gone through something, but I need all the energy I can get right now. Well, listen, so we're going to be Elena's accountability partners this year.
All right.
Thank you.
And she's going to report back,
Okay.
maybe to the listeners, but definitely to us. Well, this is
Sure.
not our one and done with Elena. We'll talk to her throughout the year and check in and see how she's doing.
Yeah.
And look forward maybe to being invited to an exhibition of her dancing. A competition,
Hopefully.
maybe. I can be really loud and obnoxious in the stands when
No problem. That's the support.
Woo, woo.
But one thing about dancing, the benefit that helps you tap into that maybe fierceness, that fearless, if you do have it naturally, because that's what I do have. And I will share you this. When I started dancing, in the beginning, I did the showcase 3 months after I started dance lessons. So just to get that bravery to be in front of people, performing, just two of you, in the middle of a big hole. So that's it just makes you stronger.
Talk about accountability partner. You're going to have to, 3 months from now, you're going to be showcasing your skills
Easy
in front of
peasy.
an audience. So, but I love that. I love that pressure sometimes that we need to overcome the fear of starting something new and just powering through, like I talk about, getting on the other side and feeling the exhilaration of I did it.
Yeah, and get out of your comfort zone. And then again, it will help you with things like public speaking because, if you dance in front of people, you may get out and start talking, easily.
Right.
Wow.
Courage.
Yep. All right. Well, that is our chat with Elena today. Thank you so much for being willing to join in with us, these crazy ladies that we are.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You're going to get a laugh, I can tell you that.
Yes.
So, talk about energy. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing great things from you in 2026. And Maggie and I are now committed to delivering good things in 26 as well.
That's right. That's right. Elena, we're just delighted that you threw your hat in the ring and we were able to sit down with you and have this conversation today. And definitely look forward to seeing how things unfold for you this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today for Candor and Courage at Work.
We hope you found some inspiration and encouragement in today's episode.
For more information or to connect with us, visit our website, candorandcourageatwork.com, and be sure to download future episodes wherever you listen.